Hello everyone, we are live again with Dungeon World, being joined here by the wonderful JeXus, who is DMing for us today. FubFubFub, let me switch on to you there. FubFubFub, who is playing Hazel, the Halfling Thief, and William, aka Hoothor, aka the Supermod, who is playing Thelonious Polonius or Polonius Thelonious?
Thelonious Polonius.
And that guy.
Hello.
It's not that hard.
So,
Yeah.
so yes, we are live. We are kicking. We've had bunches of technical issues, but we are going. So I guess JeXus, I'm going to give the word to you.
All right. Hi. Recap. Seeing as I did it last week, someone else now gets to do it. So, William, take it away.
Okay. So for about an hour, I was unconscious, having praised Morn too hard the night before. I woke to find us all assailed by a group of brigands, which we quickly dealt with. We found a note on the brigands that outlined that they were in fact paladins of the great god Cisco. That is like a god of good and life and all the rest of it, which obviously is at odds with the brigands. We then proceeded on to town, where we all sort of did our own thing. Polonius was horrified to find out that the chapel dedicated to Morn, which housed the ever-flowing keg of ale, which was a known miracle of Morn, was burnt to the ground. Luckily, the keg itself was housed in a cellar, which was unharmed. He then sealed it off, he blessed it, and demanded that the guards then take him before Judge Thatcher to rectify the situation. It was also fairly evident that it was the followers of the opposing faith to the followers of Morn. Those are the followers of Rom the Irritable. And, yeah. Polonius is now on a bit of a vendetta.
All right. Baldric, what happened to you last week?
Well, that is quite the story. I believe after the start we started walking back to town, getting attacked by a bunch of thugs, which Baldric single-handedly and bravely fought off with no help from everyone else.
It's true. You did frighten that one away.
Indeed. My manly shouts scared them all away. He was still having Stormageddon in his care, so when we reached... what did we settle on again? Hampton, just as a town, right? Not
Hampton upon Avon.
Yeah. So once we reached Hampton upon Avon again, he went to I believe the judge, to see if he could get Stormageddon to be hosted by him, or at least adopted by him, rather than, all the other silly, completely irresponsible suggestions, such as putting him in an orphanage or sending him to a temple of either Cthulhu or Morn. That did not maybe go as well as it should have. There was a little bit of a misunderstanding with the Chamberlain, which will obviously soon be fixed. So I believe at the time, Baldric is traveling back with a baby in his hands, trying to find the other guys.
All right. And Hazel, what about you?
Wow.
What about me? So in town, I helped Polonius to seal the crypt where the ever-flowing ale keg was. And just as I was about to be accosted, or maybe arrested, by the city guard, Polonius kept them busy, and I managed to slip away.
with the treasure, right?
That goes without saying. Hazel has the treasure with him at all times.
At all times. All right. Okay. Cool. So Tracy will be joining us later. So the Adventures of Cass will cover that maybe at a later time. Is she joining us actually, or
Possibly. She'll try, but she ran into some stuff, so it's not sure whether she can make it.
We'll see. But she's in a relatively safe spot in town, so that's fine. Which, however, does mean that you are now without your awesome killing machine, which is good news for me.
The fantastic DM will then scale down encounters accordingly.
Oh yes, obviously. I will go from new game +6 to new game +5.
Quick suggestion: maybe a Bond review while we're here.
Yes, good idea. Yeah. Well, let's start with you then. What are your current bonds?
Okay, my current bonds are still one from the start of the game, which is Thelonious Polonius is often the butt of my jokes. Oh, it looks like my character sheet is broken to display, so never mind. There's another one, I'm writing a ballad about the adventures of Hazel. So far, little adventures, more like standing at the back of a crowd and then running away with the treasure, so not that much exciting stuff just yet.
Bravely ran away?
Yeah. And then there is, let's see, another bond. When we're in trouble, Cass will murder our way out of it.
You were muted.
Yes, you were muted for a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it figured I was typing. Did you get the last bond?
No.
When we're in trouble.
Yeah, so when we are in trouble, Cass will murder our way out of it.
Yeah, that's not going to happen this time. Hazel. Sorry.
Yeah. That's a good one.
So I also have one bond left from the beginning. Polonius knows incriminating details about me. The other one is that I want to have Stormageddon handed off somewhere responsible as soon as possible.
As though I'm not responsible.
No comment.
We're not touching that one with a 10-foot pole.
And I thought of a new one, namely that Hazel wants to take Judge Thatcher down a notch.
Ooh. Okay. Conflict arises. Nice. Thelonious.
Right. My bonds are Baldric has insulted my deity and I do not trust them. The other one is also with Baldric. I am currently working on converting Baldric to my faith.
Good luck.
And the last one was Cass is as of yet unknown by men of the cloth. I would have her name sung by choirs from here to the setting sun. Again, fancy way of saying
ambitious.
I will get everyone to know her name.
Which is, you can interpret that in many ways.
Indeed. That's why it was grandiose but intentionally vague.
I seriously, Vane and Moonraker, no.
GoldenEye.
Let's not get into that. Let's see. My headset is freaking out. I don't know.
It's the voices in his head.
I guess so. Let's where do we start? Because you're all in different places. I don't know. Any takers?
I mean, Thelonious was being dragged away by some guards.
Yeah, and when you end an episode with that, it's not done to begin with that same scene, though, is it? So let's switch to Baldric.
How about Baldric and Hazel? Just sort of Baldric walks up with like Stormageddon still like on his shoulder. It just meets Hazel, just looks at the burnt down temple and goes like, "So, what you been up to then?"
Man, that might actually be a good idea. Let's have you walk back to the temple, and about halfway there, you see a tiny figure with a big sack on his back, skulking around in the shadows. And you immediately see that it's Hazel. What do you do, Baldric?
Yeah, I guess just literally that. I just have Stormageddon on my shoulder and go, so, what you been up to, buddy?
I've been helping out Polonius with sealing the crypt underneath the burned down Temple of Morn. And I was going to do some shopping.
So wait, did you like seal him inside or just?
No. He was adamant on complaining about the temple being burned down to some guards. So I didn't stay to find out what the guards were up to with him.
So you just head off shopping then?
Well, yes. Look. We if we're going to amount to anything after here, we will need rations. And I'm sure our need for rations will be familiar to you.
Look, that was a complete accident. I had nothing to do with. There were like rabbit squirrels, like a pack of them, just going. It's not my fault.
You hear a faint voice on the wind that says, "Don't let Baldric have the ration." And you're like, "Oh, where did that come from?"
I think I recognize a vague voice on the wind and just go, "You're right. Let's go to the shops." Yeah, forget about that guy.
All right, so you want to do some shopping? Could do. I think, yeah. I mean, you know the town, right? There's probably what sort of shopping would you want to do? You want to get rations, so let's have some sort of like general store, right?
Yeah, I want to replenish my adventuring gear.
Have we determined the amount of treasure you looted?
Oh, I don't think we ever did.
No,
but we did establish that there was enough treasure for 4 gold cups filled to the brim with coins, and that would be about half.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. So that's let's say that's about like a total value.
Totally pulling that, had this prepared and number written down.
No, I mean, it's treasure, whatever. Let's say it's about 400 coin each, right? So for 4 cups, that would be 1,200 coins. So the total amount of treasure would be 2,400.
Okay.
Give or take. And then there's the amulet still, right?
Yeah, who has the amulet?
Yeah, good question.
That's one thing.
I think it's still a part of the treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You haven't really looked into it much.
Let's see if we can identify that amulet. That's something I think would be sensible for us to do right away.
All right, we'll do a lore check, I think. I mean, I need to pull up my Dungeon World PDF.
That's a spout lore, right?
Spout
Roll
lore,
intelligence.
yeah. So it's plus int.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Fortunately, I am quite an intelligent fellow. Ha ha ha. I will roll 2d6, and that's plus 2. So let's get that up. 7.
All right.
Barely a success.
You on a 7 to 9, the GM will only tell you something interesting. It's on you to make it useful. Yeah, the shape of the amulet is familiar to you. It's the same shape as the what do we have? The inverted crucifix that the brigands the bandits or the followers of Cisco or whatever, you don't know, we're carrying as a sort of mark. and which was also, I think, on the note they were carrying.
What was that note again? I slipped my mind.
So, right, the brigands were carrying a sort of missive, or what did I call it last time? I can't remember. But like a list of principles that needed to be adhered to.
Yes.
Right?
Thou shalt ensure that thou will always introduce a list with a colon and not with a semicolon.
Exactly. No, that's the Romnians, right?
Right.
Cisco is all about doing it's about salvation to the extreme, right? Everything that is even remotely sort of tainted by evil, or by just something chaotic, or like drinking, for instance, like alcohol. No, we don't do alcohol at Cisco's. Eating spicy food might be considered a sin. Things like that, it's like taking it really far. It's really
No pork on a Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, definitely no pork on a Tuesday. That's for Wednesdays.
It's like the 7 rules. Rule number 1, no pork on a Monday. Rule number 2, no pork on a Tuesday.
No, but
Number 3, only pork on Wednesday.
It was, scary good. So, imagine the world's like best paladin, like lawful good paladin, multiply that by 1,000, have sex with the Virgin Mary, and then what sort of comes out of that is Cisco.
That's blasphemous, that is.
Yeah, well, sure, but it's canon now.
Although the thing I thought of was Cisco the routers, but they're evil, I tell you.
No, I've got a few notes about it. It said there were knights of the missive itself was penned by a Reverend Margaret. Yeah. It was a missive to a god Cisco of Salvation, and it contained notes or writings pertaining to a prophecy about some sort of savior, messiah figure.
There was, if I recall, it was a character which could either be a savior or messiah, or like the Antichrist. It was sort of like ambiguous, as in it could be one or the other.
Exactly.
And we don't know whether that depends on their upbringing.
The missive doesn't say.
No. Yeah. The missive is basically just, guidelines. It's a pamphlet.
It could be interpreted as an excuse to do whatever, for the brigands to do whatever they want. It could also be true. Could be a real prophecy. You don't know. But yeah, the amulet's got the same shape as the inverted crucifix of Cisco.
Okay, so I'm tapping basically Hazel sort of on the shoulder, going, "Hey, buddy, good news and bad news. One, I know that this amulet is... I mean, I recognize it. It has something to do with those bandits. The downside of it, it's some religious nonsense, and I don't really know how to figure it out. I think maybe we need the jackass after all."
You mean Polonius?
Whatever. Poloni, but Henry, it's... maybe he'll know more, because I'm stuck on this.
Yeah, it might be a clue on where Stormageddon belongs, and we can leave him in their care.
Well. Let's not get too hasty here. Let's just we'll cross our bridge when we burn it.
You mean we'll burn that bridge when we get there?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Let the followers of Rome will burn the bridge.
Oh, by the way, Baldric, how? Well, yeah, never mind. No, this is not a relevant question at all. Sorry. As you are sort of discussing this, right? You start to notice that there's a robed man. Sort of as you're sort of near the town square where the stores are located, there's a man on a sort of, it's not a box, but it's like a little podium, right? Little stage.
And when you say robed, are you talking like formal robes or bathrobes? What am I picturing?
Formal gray robes with a red inverted crucifix inside a circle on the back. And it's a hooded robe, right? So it's like, and the man's he's got the hood over his head, and you can clearly see the crucifix on his back in red. And he he's preaching sort of for a small crowd. What do you do?
Is the crowd heckling him?
No.
Or are
No,
they
I think
listening intently and drinking it all up?
they are, for now, sort of figuring out whether or not to heckle this man.
What I think we could do is maybe I could do a little bit of a comedy routine for them. Basically sort of heckle them from the side, going like, full on Statler Waldorf. And in the meantime, while they're distracted, you steal their stuff.
I have a humongous treasure in this sack I carry on my back. We tried this comedy routine thing before, and that was what got us run out of town.
That was just because we hadn't practiced. Now we're well practiced.
Let's go shopping instead.
Okay, just a bit of mockery? I mean, look at him.
Sure, no. Well, you go mock him. I'll go shopping. And you, do you want me to take Stormageddon with me, or?
I'll keep him here. He's a good prop. That'll work.
Right.
Prop.
All right. Well, Hazel, you walk off to the shop. Baldric, why don't you roll a discern realities for me?
Okay. Let's see. Discern realities is plus wisdom. Yep. With do I need any questions, or I'm assuming that you're doing this?
On a 10 plus, you can ask me 3 questions from the list.
Okay. So let's see. I have a +1, so let's get that going. Rolling 2 dice. +1.
Mark XP.
This program is nonsense.
Hey, you're free to
Hey,
grab
it
some
didn't
dice
save
from
my
the back.
XP from last time.
That is problematic.
Because
I think
got a
you were
bunch
one
of XP,
off.
right? Was it?
No.
1 or 2?
It was like 2, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 2.
We're
So
really
now
close.
I'd be 1 off. So I'd be at 8 now. I think because I had like 5 failures or something ridiculous.
All right.
Okay, I'll set it then to 8. Now adding this one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean you're sort of studying the crowd and see what's going on, and this man, this zealot, as it turns out, he starts preaching right about what we just discussed. Right? You have to be good in life, and if you're not good in life, you're going to get punished, and the people who will punish you will be here soon, etc., etc. It's all sort of doomsaying, right? But then in a manner where it's very clear that this is not the apocalypse is coming in and it's all sort of like religious mumbo jumbo, but there's actually something or someone or a group of people, they're coming. And the crowd, that's why the crowd isn't heckling, because there's this really ominous feeling that's sort of emanating from this man. You can't see his face, and he has this sort of deep, ratchety voice.
Just before I go on, is this man talking about needing to build a wall against this group of people that's coming?
No. It's more about cleansing, right? You need to cleanse the town from the wickedness that is inherent in it. The Dominion is coming.
Damn it, Hoothor, what have you done? Okay, so cleansing about the wickedness. Now, I'm assuming I'm just going to take that discern reality role as me also just completely failing to think of anything funny and just ending up sitting there going
Exactly.
like, look at his
But basically, you're just
nose."
listening now to this man. It's easy, and he's talking, and he keeps on talking. He doesn't really stop. So I think you're just standing there for at least half an hour, just trying to sort
I
of.
want to be at the end of the half hour. I want to sit there going like, damn, he's got a point.
Exactly. All right, Hazel. Yeah, you walk into the store. It doesn't even have a name. I mean, the town isn't that big. It's just everyone knows it. It's just the store, and it's run by Henrik, and Henrik just has stuff. Right. So yeah, Henrik is a sort of like a balding man in his late 50s. He's not wearing, his clothes are fine, but not expensive looking or whatever. He just looked like a proper store owner, and he greets you kindly, and he says, "Hello, hello, good gentleman. What can I do for you?"
Well, hello, good sir. I am looking to acquire some adventuring supplies.
Going out on an adventure, are you?
Yes. So, luck favors the prepared. So, let's prepare.
That's a very sensible thing. Yes. So what do you need?
I would like some rations.
Yes, I'm looking up a list of prices and stuff. Definitely help you with rations, of course. That's not an issue. That's what we're here for.
Excellent. Do you also have arrows?
Yeah, he has arrows. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And I want to replenish my adventuring gear, but
yeah,
I'm
that's
sure that he doesn't have sort of amorphous adventuring gear.
No, you sort of just gather supplies, and it's just a specific cost, right? And how many uses do you still have?
Vat of flubber.
It's just a liquid.
So I have one left.
Okay, yeah. So because like a full uses, 5 uses is 20 coins.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's make that 16, right? So you can refill it.
Okay.
And rations, like one ration is 5 uses, and it's 3 coins.
Okay, so one ration is 5 uses and 3 coins.
Yeah, and it weighs 1.
Oh yes, it weighs 1.
Yeah.
I have to look at my weight. Let's see. I have 1 weight for my armor. I have 1 weight for my dagger. I have 2 weights for my bow. And the adventuring gear is also 1 weight.
Yep. So
I can only carry 1 dungeon ration.
Is that
because
right?
my strength. No, let's see.
It's like a basic number plus your strength modifier. Let's see. And for a thief, that would be
7.
7 in total, or 7 plus your strength?
7 plus strength. Isn't that right?
Your load is 9 plus strength.
9. Okay, so then I can carry 8. Well, then I'll get 3 dungeon rations.
All right.
So that's 15 uses then.
Yeah.
I was assuming you were buying things for everyone.
Well, the rations are for everyone. No way that I can eat all those 15 rations myself. So, and my adventuring gear has saved the day.
On multiple occasions.
Once or twice. Also the arrows.
Yeah, the arrows, like a bundle of arrows, is 3 ammo and costs 1 coin, and it's 1 weight apparently.
Okay, yeah. So then I have to exchange.
Look, if
Yeah,
you have one,
yes,
you have 1 ammo left, right?
I have 1 ammo left. Yeah.
Just mark down that you have 4 ammo now, and it's 1 weight in total. That's fine. It's just, and you know, overburdening yourself isn't that big of a deal. As long as you don't go. What was it again? I'll look it up, but you can still do stuff while carrying equipment or being, you know, overburdened. But if you're carrying too much, then you need to drop stuff and then do something.
When you make a move while carrying weight equal to load +1 or load +2, you take -1.
Ah,
So that's pretty hefty.
that is pretty hefty. Where does it say that? I can't find it.
The move encumbrance.
Ah, right.
The
Yes.
the special move.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
So then I would only have 2 dungeon rations.
Okay. That's fine. But it's more like for now, when you're sort of carrying around stuff for other people, you're not really doing anything, then I wouldn't worry too much about encumbrance, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Like if you get into trouble in town and you need to drop all the stuff you're carrying and then do stuff.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're in like narrative time, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, as you're sort of like talking with Henrik and you're sort of discussing what you need and you're picking out your stuff, he notices that you have a pretty hefty bag there, and he says, "Well, good sir, that's quite a bag you have there for such a little person. May I inquire what's in it?"
Oh, just some stuff we found on the road.
Ah, okay. So you're sort of a peddler of wares.
Kind of. Maybe a bit of a reverse peddler.
A reverse peddler.
No, yeah, yeah. I do travel around. I do travel around. That's why I need all these supplies, of course.
Right. No.
I have
The reason I'm asking, so what's your name, kind sir?
Hazel, at your service.
Mr. Hazel. The reason I'm asking is that I sometimes have clients who are in the business of acquiring means other than what I'd normally have in my store. And from the items I've seen you pick out for your gear, and from the amount of rations you are taking with you and the amount of arrows you're buying from my store, for which I am very, very grateful, of course, I can't help but think that maybe you are perhaps a person who might help me acquire said special things.
Ah, so you have a business proposition.
Let's just say that should you ever be in the possession of materials that you yourself have no real use for, but could use a monetary compensation for instance, then I'd suggest that you'd visit my store first before trying any other means.
Ah, now that is very useful information. I will keep it in mind.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, is there anything else you'd want to do here?
No, I want to pay without him seeing the amount of treasure I have in the bag.
Yeah. I don't think that's a problem. No, that's fine.
And I want to make my exit as quickly as politely possible.
Right. Yeah. I think as you are leaving the door, he asks you a final question. He says, "Mr. Hazel, sir, Are you currently in the do you currently have a thing lined up?
He's asking you out on a date.
Not currently.
Because it has come to my attention that the ruins north of our fair town, that there's perhaps something of interest there, or a person of your stature.
Ah,
If you catch my drift.
I think I do. I will discuss this with my companions, and if we decide to visit the ruins north of the city, then and we acquire anything, as you say, of interest, then I will be sure to show it to you.
Thank you. That's all I ask. Good day, sir.
Excellent. Good day.
All right. Thelonious Polonius.
Yes, sir.
Last we saw you, you were being escorted by 2 city watchmen,
Mm-hmm.
and you kindly asked them to escort you to the home of Judge Thatcher.
I did.
They, if that's all right with you, I want to set the scene at the judge's place.
Sure.
Unless you have something you want to do in between.
No. You can go right there.
So I think these guards, they like last time we already sort of established that they were sort of mocking you, right?
Oh yeah.
Something was up.
Well, Felonius, he totally got that, but he doesn't care.
Yeah. So they escort you to this stately house that I described last week as well for Baldric. This walled manor basically, and they position you in a waiting area. Basically, it's just like a small sitting room, and they tell you to sit down and wait.
Fair enough. I do so.
Okay. And it takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like a long time.
Yeah. Is there any reading material available?
There are some books there, yes.
Okay. I'll probably go find the biggest, most studious-looking book, pick it up, sit back down, and begin to intently pore through it. I'm not actually reading it, but I'm just basically trying to look like I'm
this book is called the Agitated Musings of Rom.
Exactly.
And if you decide on reading it, I can tell you what's in it, and otherwise it'll just.
Unless if there's something that really, really jumps out at me, if I flick to a page and it says, "And Rom said on the 3rd day that all followers of Morn shall be burned at the stake," then I would probably read that. But otherwise, I'm just sort of doing this as a front.
No.
Let's face it, the agitated writings of Rom are usually. Don't you just hate it when you're in a shop and somebody has to cart just diagonally across the hallway and just you have to stand there? It's like,
It's the old Family Guy joke of, do you know what really grinds my gears?
Exactly. No, it's just a big tome, right? And on the cover, it says so in sort of like lavish writing, the agitated musings of Rom, and then it has his symbol of the crying eye, right? The eye with a single tear.
Yeah.
And in sort of gold, it's outlaid in gold, and it looks really nice. It looks really, really nice.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm just going to sort of flip through it. Not really. Maybe there's some pretty pictures. I might look at them. But
cool. Yeah, I think it takes upwards of an hour before the door opens and Judge Thatcher walks in, and you've seen him before. He's quite a fat man, right? He's big. He's he's tall, and he's rotund.
Is he bigger than me?
He might be bigger than you. I think he is. Yes. He's
Okay.
certainly taller than you. So on the whole, he'd be bigger than you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has this really nasty little sort of like pencil mustache, and a monocle in one eye. Obviously in one eye, because otherwise he'd have 2 monocles and it'd be weird. And
then it would be a duocle.
yeah, exactly. Yes, or just glasses with broken glasses. No, he walks in, and the guards were still standing there, right, in the room with you, and he sort of looks at the guards and he says, "Oh, sod off now." And they
Sorry, can I maybe like while I'm waiting at some point, I maybe am flipping through this big book and I read something like, that's right, interesting, and I sort of say, do you know the followers? I'm basically trying to annoy them as much as I can with this sort of religious ramblings.
All right.
Yeah.
But like ramblings of Rom or
Rom, yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, Rom. Yeah. No, they are unfazed by that.
Okay.
But he looks at the guards. He's like, sod off, and they go away without any problem or hitch or whatever. He stands there and he looks at you, and he's sort of towering over you because I think you're still sitting down.
Probably.
And Polonius, what are you still doing in this town? I told you to get out with those two scallywags and just never come back, and still you're here. What's going on?
Well, Honourable Judge, I don't recall you telling me to go and never come back. You entrusted them to my care, and care I have taken of them. Did you know? And I sort of flip open the book, and I recite something probably incredibly mundane to him. I just want to see how.
He sort of turns red, right? Of course I know it.
And I go, oh. It's like, oh, you did? Oh, that's interesting. Because did you also know that it is a profane sin to destroy a chapel to the gods?
I have no idea what you're talking about. And still, I don't care for the tone you're carrying with me, Polonius. I'm the one asking you the questions. What are you doing in this? What are you doing here?
If you permit me, Honourable Judge, I shall finish. It is a profane sin to destroy a temple to the gods, and I don't know if you know, but the Chapel of Morn has been reduced to cinders this very day.
Has it now? And he has this sort of like twinkle in his eyes and the raised part of his mouth.
Yeah,
it's got that tiny little bit of a smile.
And I say to him, "It's like, but that's not really why I'm here. There's nothing that you could do to turn something that has been burned to cinders and to reverse that. But what I have come to say is that." I do believe I know who did it.
Oh, is that right? And he sort of sits down, right, in a very sort of comfy chair, and he crosses his legs and he sits back. He's like, "Is that right, Polonius? Don't tell me if you're so smart to tell me who did this."
It's like, yes, I know who did it. They are the most cunning, the most ingenious, and quite possibly most fearful people that or people to be feared, rather, that I have ever known. I'm just sort of trying to big up, and then maybe I'm hoping that he's sort of like, yes, this we are, yes, or yes, Rom is and stuff.
Yeah, he's sort of you see the twinkle in his eyes return, and it's like, yes, you just yeah,
and I turn around to him and say, and I'll tell you, and I sort of lean in a little bit and say, it's those paladins of Cisco.
Paladins of Cisco? Cisco doesn't have paladins, my dear boy. You mean those zealots preaching out in the square? We'll have them stomped out in no time. The militia of Rom will have no trouble weeding out those little rats.
You say this, and yet they come into your town and destroy a chapel, and you don't even know? Wow. And I start, puzzling to myself.
He sort of gets really red in the face, right? Because and he gets up, sort of like half gets up. He's like, Polonius, I'll have you know that no follower of Cisco has burned down your puny little chapel. you insignificant little ant.
Oh. So do you know who has?
Bum,
I-
bum, bum.
What if I do? I don't think I'm compelled to tell you.
Certainly not. I thought it would be my citizenly duty to come before the leader of this place and inform him as to what had gone on. But I mean, I come here and you're not even aware. And
I am
quite
I'll have
puzzling.
you know, I am very aware. It's just that I choose to do nothing about it because I don't care for your god, and you know this, you ant. You useless man.
Is there anyone else in the room?
No.
The guards have left.
Yes.
Like, were they wearing like heavy armor, or like armor enough that I could basically like maybe hear their footsteps as they've gone away? So that can I tell that they're not immediately outside the door? For example?
I'd have to look up like types of armor, but I'd be guessing that they'd be wearing at least chain armor. You'd be hearing, you'd be able to hear them.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be like chain or scale mail or whatever. But I think you'd hear them.
Okay. At this point, I would like to reach into my pocket and pull out my talisman and just sort of, maybe lean over. I'm holding it in holding it in the palm of my hand, maybe sort of, fingering it slightly. And I say, "Do you know what this is?"
What is that? Is that some sort of lucky charm?
No. This has the power of Morn, and I want to cause fear on him.
When you say that it has the power of Norm, he starts laughing, right? Like really
that's
loudly.
fine. That's totally fine.
Casting cause fear on the judge.
Mhm.
I see no reason for this plan to fail.
Exactly.
This is gonna go marvelously. Just
Yeah.
glorious rolls.
It is going to go. I'm going to roll double snake eyes, and he's just going to laugh me out of the room. I know what's going to happen. But anyway. Oh, that's an 8.
Ah.
It works. It works. On a 7 to 9, the spell is cast, but choose one. You draw unwelcome attention or put yourself in a spot. Your casting distances you from your deity. Take as -1 ongoing to cast a spell until the next time you commune, or after you cast it, the spell is revoked by your deity. You cannot cast it again until you commune and have it granted to you.
I think I'll have it be. I'll have Morn revoke it.
Yeah.
Maybe this is maybe the only reason that Morn has deigned to allow me to do this was because it is in his name. But usually this sort of thing is not.
I think so too. Yeah, this is using his name in a way that
It's on the very.
He does not agree, but you are doing it out of the goodness of your heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Cause Fear says, choose a target you can see and a nearby object. The target is afraid of the object so long as you maintain the spell. The reaction is up to them: flee, panic, beg, fight. And while the spell is ongoing, you take -1 to cast the spell. You cannot target entities with less than animal intelligence.
Okay. So I could choose myself, I guess. Yeah.
No, the target. It's up to the target.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he starts laughing loudly, and then I think there's this sort of holy light emanating from your amulet, and I also think that what you see emanating from the amulet does not correspond with what the judge sees. That's sort of emanating from the amulet, right?
Yeah, well, I think last time I caused fear, it was just sort of a fairly dim glow, because it wasn't overly obvious that I was because I made it so that Baldric was the one who was causing fear to the people that we were fighting. So maybe what he sees is as a light sort of start to emanate from it, and maybe his laughter sort of quiets down slightly, and then like his vision begins to contort as I maybe grow in size. And
that's
like
sort of like the Gandalf thing.
Fool of a
yeah,
duck.
basically
Yeah.
the whole Gandalf,
Yeah.
the
So
shadows
I
encroach.
think he's laughing, and he keeps on laughing. But the reason why he's laughing at first and the reason why he's laughing after you've cast the spell are completely different. This is sort of like a panicked laugh, right? And he sort of he just can't help himself. He's sort of stuck in an emotion.
Yeah.
But the emotion doesn't really correspond to what he's actually feeling. And you see
Kind
the
of like
sort of
gibbering.
so the panic in his eyes as you sort of grow in size for him, and he starts sinking back in his chair. He's like, and I think he's in a sort of like a state, right? He's just stuck.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Yeah. So I'd like to imagine that maybe to him my voice sounds like, like think Darth Vader through a megaphone. Oh, hello.
Oh,
Fub just dropped.
he'll probably connect in a moment.
Okay. Well, continue. Sounds like Darth Vader through a megaphone. Like big, deep, but resonating.
Yeah.
And I say, "Anant, am I? So smart are you? Well, I will show you the true power of Morn, and I will make it known that Rom is nothing in comparison. Morn the Stoic will show his true might." And as I say that, hang on, let me see. What spells I'm going in? Okay, so it doesn't say that I can't cast any other spells while I'm doing so.
Well, it's an ongoing effect, I think. So you'd be at -1 to cast another spell?
Well, so what I want to do is I just wanted to cast light at this point.
Okay,
Basically just sort of dazzle him, like blind him with this. I'd like to outstretch and then I have to roll for cast light, do I?
Let's just see. It's call sphere is ongoing, so it's you can cast light and you need to roll, and then it's a -1.
Okay, that's fine. So it's like it's +1 overall.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So as I'm saying this, I'm sort of bringing the make it known that Rom is butts indeed. And I shall put it, push the talisman closer and closer to his face and cast light so that it's right in his eyes.
Wow.
Wow. All right.
And that's another 8, 6 and a 1.
Well, it's the same.
+1 overall.
It's the same choice you have to make. You cast it without a hitch.
I'd probably say that maybe I draw some unwanted attention because I'm casting a brilliant light, and probably people can see.
Yeah, and there's
going through the windows,
frantic laughing and screaming coming from the room now.
Yeah. And I basically want to, if I can, I want to ramp up the intensity until he's like having to cover his eyes and wince away.
Yeah. I think. Is it really close?
Oh yeah. No, I'm
like in his face.
I'm not like shoving it like so I'm like pushing it against his face, but it's in it's in his personal space.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He instantly stops laughing when you do this, and he shrinks back in his chair. And whereas he was first sort of like bigger than you, right? Obviously, he turns into a tiny man, basically, like a shell of his former self. The fear in his eyes, and he sort of like holds up his hand in front of his face. He's like, "Please stop! I'm sorry. What will you have me do?" And when he says that, in the distance you hear like footsteps come running up, like the clinking of armor.
Yeah. Okay. So at that point, right, I would like to instantly cancel both spells. Right, like when he says, "What would you have me do?" I'll instantly cancel both spells. And if he's like pushed himself down into his chair and he's like over his eyes, I'll just sort of cancel both spells. I'll lean in and I'll say, "Absolutely nothing," and turn around and leave.
I think at the moment you say absolutely nothing, the door opens, right? And as you start to sort of walk out, the guards come rushing in, and they have their swords at the ready, and they say,
and I'll say, "Good men, I've no idea what just happened. I was 1 minute I was talking to the honourable judge, and the next look." And maybe he's sort of like still.
He's not recovered.
Yeah.
But I will have you roll a parlay.
Cool, that's fine.
So that's we haven't done this one before. So Parlay says when you have leverage on a GM character and manipulate them, you roll plus charisma. Leverage is something they need or want. Well, they need an explanation. On a hit, they ask you for something and do it if you they ask you for something and do it if you make them a promise first. And on a 7 to 9, they need some concrete assurance of your promise right now. And on a 6, you just basically fill the charisma check.
Fair enough. Okay. Rolling right now. Wow, 6 and a 1 again. Exactly the same roll. So that's +2, so that's 8 overall.
Okay.
No, sorry,
Yes.
9 overall. 9 overall.
Yeah. So so you tell them that you have no idea what happened, right? At one point, you were having a conversation and suddenly you just flipped out. And one of the guards he looks at you and he says, "Hold it right there, John. Go and have a look." And the other guard he walks up to Thatcher, and Thatcher is just he hasn't fainted, but he's sort of catatonic, right?
Yeah.
And Johnny looks back. He said, Frank, he's not reacting at all. He's what did you do?
I didn't do anything. Quickly, we need to get him to a healer. He just sort of collapsed. I don't know.
Yeah. The John, right, the guard standing in front of you, he looks at you and says, "Go help Frank. Help him get up. I'll lead you to a healer."
Oh yeah, fair enough. Of course, yes. And I'll begin to sort of hoist him up.
Isn't Thelonious himself a healer?
He is, but he's yeah, I'm trying to go with the whole thing. I'm trying to make out that there's some sort of medical condition that's gone on here, rather than
guards are not necessarily the smartest. So yeah, he leads you off into the town. And I think we switch back to Baldric.
I think at this time, actually, we're going to go with the policy of quick 5-minute breaks every hour, and we are on the hour.
Cool.
That gives us a quick 5-minute break to make a cup of tea, do any bio breaks when needed, and that kind of thing.
Yep.
So I'm going to go put us on a quick break screen, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Hello again, everyone. We are back on air. Thank you for waiting that little bit. We'll continue right away.
Yeah. So after that shocking scene, let's switch back to Baldric, who's been sort of standing, watching this zealotous preacher man type thing, robed dude,
And enthralled, I'd say.
enthralled. Yeah. And I think Hazel returns at that point as well, with additional supplies. And I think, or do you want to add something? Because otherwise, I think it'd be a good idea for Hazel just sort of meeting you, and you're still standing there, sort of enthralled by what this guy is actually saying.
Well, I kind of wanted to add something right away in the Bond section, because I think Baldric has gotten some inspiration here. So I'm adding to my bonds that, there we go. I will follow the orders of my Dark Lord Stormageddon.
Right, so
There we go.
casting him as a Dark Lord already.
I am casting it as a Dark Lord right away, and sort of, I'm sort of like gazed in amazement up at the entire story while Hazel comes by, and I'm sort of like holding like a a little pamphlet with the inverted cross on it, going, did apparently it's a sin to seduce somebody else's wife.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, I don't know. They've got loads in here. I mean, their stance on oregano is a little bit excessive, but I mean, apparently you shouldn't be stealing things, buddy.
I've had people say that to me before, but we know better.
No, seriously, man, read this stuff. It's not half bad. I mean, they've got this bit about people coming up, and there's going to be some kind of trouble, man. We need to take care of this. We need to look. We've got a baby now. We need to be responsible here.
Right. Responsible as in carefully managing resources and rations and stuff like that.
Look, I'm saying, maybe like build a little bunker, find a little safety somewhere, fortify some ruins, because apparently stuff's gonna go down, man.
Oh, yeah, but about those ruins, I have an interesting lead for some ruins. They are apparently to the north of the village.
Okay, random ruins, and we can like shore these up, get some defenses ready, put a nice little banner with an inverted cross in front, that kind of thing.
I'm not too sure about the banner, but the rest, perhaps.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Wow. All right. Let's have a look here. UI had planned.
Why did I mention a ruin in the north?
No, absolutely not. No, well, there's another thing that you could do, and I'm not saying that you should do it. So that's not why I'm saying it. But you could carouse.
Oh wait, that's a mechanic we hadn't done anything with, right?
Yeah, and I'm not saying that you should do that now because it's something that I had planned, because I haven't. But it might be useful because you can gain friends or useful NPCs, rumors, useful information, and ensure that you are not tricked, entangled, or ensorcelled in any way.
I do want to know more about those ruins.
Yeah,
but
so,
could I spout lore about them?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's do that first.
Let's spout lore first.
Roll spout away.
Oh, look at me spouting lore.
Wow.
The glorious of all lore.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't know. Basically, it's probably like a longer way away from, like a longer way north than you've been. So you haven't heard anything about that. But what you are hearing, sort of when you're standing around, and this guy is still preaching, right? But the crowd is sort of done with it. They're like, yeah, they're not going to heckle him because they're slightly scared of what he's saying. But they start talking amongst themselves, and you hear some rumors here and there, and you hear like a woman say, like, have you heard that have you heard about the little town in Fishling? There's been babies dying, and I've heard that there's further west. The same's been going on as well.
Fishling.
Yeah.
Fishling is somewhere.
That's a little village to the west.
Far from here?
Why didn't you spout lore about Fishling?
Oh, let's rack up some XP this session.
Oh God, a shadow
There
is
you
all
go.
over a fishing
There you
village.
go.
Oh God.
So yeah, Fishling
+1.
Fishling indeed is a little fishing village.
Who would have thought?
It's like improvisation. And I need to tell you something interesting and useful about this subject, relevant to your situation. Well, let's just say that in the rumors that you've been hearing, there's been babies that they've been dying, and Fishling is a town that's just it's insignificant in many ways, right? It's just a small fishing village. Nothing much happens there. So for something like this to happen there, that's actually quite huge, especially if news of it travels eastwards to Hampton. So it's not just your average. A baby died. Something's up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you been to Fishling, do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps.
Okay. So what are the people like in Fishling?
They're very private. Others might call them rude, but
It's beginning
They're
to look
private.
like fishmen.
If you say they all worship Cthulhu, I am going to leave. I am out.
well, if we have Cass in front of our little group and they all worship Cthulhu, then it might actually not be.
Well, that might not be far-fetched, right? No. Let me make a note of this little village called Fishling.
Asking for trouble is what this is.
Playing this game is asking for trouble.
Yeah.
This is true.
So, I have a question about something I'd like to do then. I kind of want to do the carousing, except kind of what I want to do is donate 100 coin to the Church of Cisco and sort of try and get into their good graces. Except I wouldn't do that by carousing because that's exactly not what they do.
No, that's just a thing you can do, right?
I kind of want to befriend a useful NPC in the Church of Cisco there. So I don't know what your idea is.
I mean, the Church of Cisco.
What you could do is Church of Cisco doesn't really have a presence in Hampton, so that's not something you can do. But what we could do, because you can choose on the 10 plus, if you're all right on the 10 plus, you get to choose 3 of those 4 things from the list. So if you choose to befriend a useful NPC, then we can sort of define together who that NPC is, right? So if you then wanted to be, for instance, that zealotous priest, or someone else who you've met at that party who might be sort of higher up in the church or whatever, but that's more like up to me, right? But if you sort of define what it is you're looking for, then I can perhaps create such an NPC for you.
And may I remind you, there is a vacant plot where you could build a chapel.
Hey now!
That is going to happen.
Listen, I'm not adverse to using my cause fear plus light combo on you guys.
Okay,
No. No.
So basically, here's what I
Bad
want to spend my
plans.
100 coins on. Like a party tent and some lanterns and some lights and such and color things on the site. It's a goodbye to the Temple of Morn party.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, definitely. If you want to do that, then yes. But so it's 100 coin to spend, and then you roll 2d6 plus extra 100s of coin spent. So you spend 100 coin, and then if you spend another 100 coin, you get to roll +1. You spend in total of 300 coin, you get to roll +2, 400 coin +3, etc., etc.
Let's see. So I had 400 coin. I'm gonna spend 200 of it.
Okay.
Ball cam.
So wait, hold on. Where are these coins coming from?
Good point. You still have that. Okay, yeah.
We haven't divided the treasure up yet.
That's a good point. So, yeah. Before
Also,
I do this, then.
Just as a quick interjection, because you stated that half of it is yours and the other half needs to go to the righteous owner. Is that what you were saying?
No. Half is the finder's fee for us four.
Oh. Yeah.
And half of it will be used for Stormageddon's upbringing.
Right, that was it. Yeah. Okay. No. Good. Yeah.
It's the trust fund.
Oh,
Yes,
wait.
the trust fund. Exactly.
I wouldn't dip in Stormageddon's trust fund. That wouldn't make sense. Then I can't carouse. Nope.
Oh, you could, because technically you have 400 coin.
Mm-hmm.
No, but we kind of did discuss about it being like Stormageddon's trust fund. So
No. But there's his this is the treasure, right? Like, and then half of it, this bit, that's Stormageddon. So that's out of the window.
Oh,
and the
so
other
this
half
is with
divided
the
that by 4. So that's 1,200 divided by 4, which makes it 300. Wait, I'm miscalculating. It should be 400.
Yeah.
400 each, and then the other half is for Stormageddon. Whatever, I can't count. So it's 1,600 and then 3,200 for like a total.
Okay, in that case,
Someone make a note of this, because I can't be honest.
on my sheet,
so we-
400 coin, but I'm going to Hazel has this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
put Hazel as group treasurer.
I'm basically sort of turning to Hazel then and going, hey buddy, I'm gonna need my share of the treasure right about now. That'd be great.
Sure, but let's not do that here out in the open.
Yeah, okay. Well,
To avoid unwanted attention.
we'll get a room in an inn somewhere.
Okay.
You could finally go to visit Madame Schlappentickle.
Yeah, you could go to Slap and Tickle's ye old Slap and Tickle.
Yes, let's go to the
You can also go to the Lame Buck if you want.
That's also true.
Yeah, the Schlappentickle is what we're familiar with.
Right. Okay, so ye old Slap and Tickle should be just the old Slap and Tickle. Is a
house of ill repute.
well, it's a brothel, right? It's a house of fun and games, and of slaps and tickles.
Excellent.
I think.
Welcome to the brothel. We've got
it's
fun
sort
and
of like
games.
it's quite well known. It's not hidden in any way. People are quite proud of the old slap and tickle, and I think they sort of have a slogan on the door, right? You have it's this big brothel house, right? And they have a slogan that's probably says something like, "There's lots of slaps and tickles here." And so, do you want to go in?
Sure, I'm fine with that.
Okay, so yeah, if you, it's so what time would it be? Like somewhere late afternoonish, I think.
I think so.
So yeah, it's moderately busy at the old Slap and Tickle. There's some women of ill repute walking around in well, you could call them clothes, but let's face it, they're not wearing much. And there's
Easy
one
access couture.
yes, exactly. And then there's these well, villagers who are quite well dressed, sitting at tables in a bar, talking with the women and sort of discussing what it is that they want and how much it'll cost, and there's drinking and laughing, and there's a lot of like noises and shouting, and there's one lady who sort of yeah, she walks around the establishment, and she's dressed, she's in sort of fancy dress, right? And you, Baldric, recognize her as Miss Fraulein Schlappuntickel, who notices you instantly, and she notices you, but I think she does this to everyone that she sort of knows. She notices you, but she acts as if she doesn't, as to sort of give you the opportunity to either go up to her if you want, but if you want sort of privacy and peace and quiet, then that's fine as well.
I'll just walk up to her and go, Brunhilde!
Brunhilde, all right. I'll add that.
Fräulein Brunhilde.
Brunhilde Schlappuntickel.
Yep.
Fantastic.
This is not derailing in any way. So yeah,
well, you guys didn't want to call it quarks, so you know.
Look, there's a limit to copyright infringement.
So Brunhilde Schlappuntickel greets you, but not as enthusiastically as you greet her, right? So she sort of does a like a fake pecks on your cheeks. Says, Baldric.
I just go completely over the top campy with, darling, lovely to see you again.
Yes, and you left in quite a hurry last time we saw each other. What brings you back here?
Oh, that was just a slight misunderstanding. Actually, literally have a baby.
She notices, but you know, if you don't want to talk about it, then that's fine.
Slight misunderstanding. Some things happen. Long story. Is there a little space where you can feed the little one? You know, it's kind of a private thing.
Is this the kind of private where you need some of Schlappuntickel's assistance, or you just need a room, darling?
Is there one of the ladies who could actually help out with, you know, the thing?
Or a price?
Wait, what kind of price?
All right, so you're bargaining, right? What are you looking for?
Basically someone to breastfeed the little Stormageddon.
All right.
Because, you know, nothing could go wrong in a brothel.
Let's see. I read something about this and I can't find it anymore.
There's a rule for breastfeeding.
There's a rule for breastfeeding.
In the brothel.
Look,
Well,
let's
stick to the supply rules.
The supply.
Oh, wow. I was about to say.
This is something special beyond what's usually available here. So you roll plus charisma.
Okay, just a roll plus charisma? Sure. Let's get that done. My charisma is +2. Let's get the rolls up there. Okay, come on. Don't do this to me again. You did it to me again.
So, yeah, she...
Level up.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something. You can take an hour in that room. Yeah, she looks at you, and then she looks at the baby, and then she looks back at you. And are you looking for someone to give milk to this baby, Baldric? Here? At Schlappuntickel's? Don't be ridiculous.
I figured if there's any place to find pregnant women, you know.
This would be the last place where you'd find pregnant women. And then she sort of signals one of the girls, and the other girl takes you up to a small room. There's no bed or anything, right? This is like more like a sort of private conference room type thing. There's a table with some chairs.
I make sure that Hazel follows along, right?
Question, didn't we agree, like, I don't know if it was last time or the time before, that Stormageddon was actually old enough that he could, you know, ingest like proper foods.
Yeah, definitely, but that doesn't mean
Look,
that he doesn't
The
breastfeed.
little baby needs to know where it comes from. Okay.
Fair.
So yeah, no, yeah, you now have the girl sort of leaves you, gives you a sort of lingering look, Baldric, and then she leaves and closes the door.
I give her a little of a wink and a yeah. See you later. Yeah. Okay. So Hazel came along. I'm assuming.
Yep,
I mean that's yeah.
right behind you.
Okay. Okay. Right. Divining this treasure. How are we doing this? How are we setting this up?
Okay, so I take a one of the golden goblets that's in the stash, fill it up with coins, and say, "Well, there you go. Cheers."
Yep. I just take it and go. Cheers.
All this trouble for just.
I imagine we have one of those moments where we just out of sheer joy fill up two of the goblets, do an actual cheers, and then spend some time picking everything up. Like, oh, this was actually less fun than I imagined. But in any case, cool.
I mean, you could spend some of the gold.
Yeah, no, I mean you just said you leveled up, right? You can take some time to level up here if you want. You have some downtime now.
Sure, could you? Yeah.
I'll spend a ration to feed Stormageddon while Baldric is doing his thing.
Cool.
I imagine leveling up for me is just basically I stand in front of a window, look out, sort of majestically, as though I'm in deep thought. Although in reality, all I'm thinking is level up, gonna change my stats.
All right, so you have 9 XP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
deduct
subtract 9,
7, right?
and then increase your level by 1.
Rather than musing upon life's beauty, you're actually just thinking up fart jokes.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And so you get to pick a new advanced move from your class and increase one of your stats by 1.
See, the metagamer in me would say, let's do wisdom because then it's 14. But wisdom is not something that Baldric has. 18 was the max for his stat, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm definitely upping his charisma just because it's hilarious. And an extra move. Obviously, the move is going to be Bamboozle. When you parlay with someone on a 7+, you also take a +1 forward with them.
Nice.
Fair enough.
All right. So yeah, you so take out 400 coin from the general treasure stash, and then Baldric make a note that you have 400 coin.
General stash, treasure stash.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'll give you that one. So yeah, if you want to carouse here, you can. You can also go somewhere else to carouse at. I mean, that's fine with me.
I'm not going for that. I'm going fully for the Temple of Morn goodbye party carousing. That's what I want to set up.
Okay. That's not a problem. It will take a couple of hours to set up, right? Because you sort of have to have people help you with the tent and make sort of agreements with the innkeeper and
hire a mariachi band.
Yeah, stuff like that, right?
If we're going to do a Temple of Morn goodbye party, then perhaps we should look to find Thelonious, and maybe he'd want to, send off the temple with a bang. We could all pitch in.
I think as Baldric is paying for this carouse thing, right? He's busy getting things ready.
Mm-hmm.
So
much.
If you want to look for Thelonious Polonius, Hazel, then I think you're free to do so.
Okay, can I pitch in for Baldric's carousal?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll scratch off 100 coins.
Okay, so that's a total of 300 coin that's being paid.
Nice.
Cool. So let's switch scenes, right? Well, I'm assuming that Hazel's just looking for Polonius in town.
I'm assuming I left Stormageddon in the care of Baldric.
Yeah. I'm keeping Stormageddon with me.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Polonius, you,
Yes.
we find you and Fred and John, Frank and John. Sorry, no, John and Eric. Sorry, there's no Frank here.
Frank and John. That sounds like a good character.
John and Eric, the city guards.
We rejoin Ben and Jerry.
Ben and Jerry. No, and you are carrying, together with I think it was Eric, carrying the catatonic body of Judge Thatcher.
Yep.
Through the city streets.
Yes.
And John is sort of marching ahead of you. He's taking you to a small house, and let's see. Oh yeah, Magic Coffee Queen. If you want to join, then that's not a problem. Also, if you can't or just want to sit this one out, then that's fine as well. No worries. So yeah, what does this sort of look like? Because there's this really fat guy being sort of, well, he's not really dragged through the streets. He's helped, I guess, by you and the city guard, and then there's another city guard.
I mean, I'd imagine that maybe we're sort of like, he's, maybe just sort of wide-eyed, looking off, sort of into space, babbling and gibbering to himself, and. I've got maybe one arm over my shoulder, and what was it? Eric is the other one who has the other arm over his shoulder. Yeah. And we're both, we're sort of hurrying through. And if people are in our way, I'd be like, just like, get out of the way! This is an emergency! And trying to hurry us along and looking. Worried.
And you're gathering quite a crowd now as well. And sort of people start looking at you, and they see that I think you're wearing robes with the symbol of Morn as well. Or is it just simple robes, and you only have the symbol of Morn as a sort of amulet thing?
Well, I'd probably say they're more simple robes. I mean, I'd probably say that people know me because I've been in that town for God knows how long.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like the robe should have a hat that you can just put two, tails in there and with a little straw.
Just straws.
Perhaps in 1,000 years is when the Church of Morn persists. That will be the crowning achievement.
No, okay, so so people know who you are, and I think the crowd is actually, they're like, huh, he's actually helping him. That is kind. Right, because they all know what happened to your chapel, right? And they all know who's responsible, and you know who's responsible, and they know who's responsible. Everyone knows. So they're like, hey, this guy, he's all right. And a couple other guys, they start helping as well. So there's these two villagers, like,
they pick up his legs, and maybe we just
Mr. Polonius, sir, let's do this together. Well, we'll have to work together in this village, right?
Like, yes, quickly, grab hold. We must hurry.
Right, and so there's these two other people, and now you're sort of carrying like two at his arms, two at his feet, and John sort of rushes forward to the healer's house, basically, and this is like a wooden shack, John just sort of kicks in the door. Right, he doesn't knock or whatever. He just kicks in the door like really rudely, and and he says, "Come on, get him in here."
Yeah, we hurry through the door, and
there's what you see. It's quite dark there, but there's a fire burning, and sort of the flames are flickering, and in the light of the flames, you see this really old man, is sort of hunched over. He's got a grey beard, and he looks filthy, like dirty.
Something has come over him. Some sort of his humors have fallen out of balance.
Yeah. So and John, the guard, says, "Greybeard, heal him! Come on, do something!" And man, he referred to his Greybeard. He said, "Oh, hold on,
something has come over him. Some sort of his humors have fallen out of balance."
Yeah. So and John, the guard, says, "Greybeard, heal him! Come on, do something!" And man he referred to as Greybeard. She said, "Oh, hold on, just lay him down over there." And he points to like a mattress, like a straw mattress.
Okay. Yeah, we'd like hurry him over.
Yeah,
I think when we put him down, I'd maybe like turn to the rest of the people and was like, come on, all of you, out. We need as much space as we can. We need to work here.
yes. The two villages and Eric, the other guard, they're like, yes, Polonius, we'll okay. And they move out, but John doesn't. He stays right where he is with you and Greybeard.
That's fine.
And so Greybeard, he moves up and he sort of he looks at the sort of the eyelids and he raises them and looks into his eyes and he smells Judge Thatcher's breath and he does all sorts of weird stuff that you as a sort of professional here are like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And
But I don't show that. I'm like,
yeah,
you know, yes, of course, yes. I'm playing nurse at the point.
So Greybeard, yeah, he keeps working, and John says, "What's wrong with him, Greybeard? What's wrong?" And Greybeard says, "Oh, well, just give me some room, John. Just go outside. Let me and Mr. Polonius here. We'll take care of him." And John says, "Yeah, well, okay. Well, if you say so, Greybeard." Yeah.
Yeah,
So
maybe I'll get, sort of pat John on the back and say, don't worry, we'll take best of care.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So he looks at you and he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, he actually helped us here, so maybe he's all right." And he leaves. And at the moment he leaves and the door's closed, Greybeard sort of arches his back. He's like, "Ah, well, that's over with. How are you doing, Polonius?"
I am fine, old friend. How are you? And I, put a hand out to shake it.
Exactly, right. And so he clasps the hand. He says, "Well, so I see you in a bit of a pickle."
It's like, yes, I am. And I maybe sort of glance a little bit over my shoulder to just make sure maybe, the door is definitely shut and there's no ears pressed to the door. And I'll say, "Listen, I need your help here. I need you to make this look as convincing as possible."
Make it look like an accident.
Make it. I missed it. Make it look as what?
Convincing as possible.
Convincing as possible. What are you planning here, Polonius? Because this is Thatcher.
Mm-hmm. Could we maybe take a second to maybe outline my relationship to?
Yeah, definitely.
Greybeard?
Yeah.
Do I get to say? Do you get to say that? What do we?
We'll sort of work together on this, and we can have input from chat and input from Baldric and Hazel as well. I think.
Prepare your worst ideas.
I think Greybeard is a calm man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he acts like he's really old.
What do they call it? It's like the
quack, a grifter.
That's the one. Yeah.
Quack. So, have you seen Pete's Dragon?
Probably.
It's like an old Disney movie.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
This sort of,
I can't remember.
Dragon.
Yeah,
there's a quack there as well, and he comes into town with his sort of cart filled with potions and ointment for all sorts of stuff that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right. It's sort of like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bit of a douche.
Yeah.
But you helped him. I guess you helped him out at some point, or he helped you out at some point.
I think maybe. All right, now here we go. So, what if perhaps sometimes he's able to get hold of some particularly special substances and ingredients? Just a little thing to maybe give the ale a little bit of a kick.
Right, yeah.
Nothing no narcotics or anything, but just a little bit of
exotic stuff.
Yeah, spices and such.
And I like it. Yeah.
Sometimes, whenever the Church of Morn would do its monthly, whereas some churches might give alms to the poor or do things, we go out with beer samples and basically stir up some revelry in the populace.
Right, and I think as a sort of like a counteract for on your part, whenever he actually needed to heal someone, he just called on you to actually to do the healing for him.
Yeah, no, that'd be totally
Right?
fine.
So there's people coming to him, it's like, oh, my knee hurts, and he just gives them an ointment. He says, well, take this and it'll be fine. And it sort of works like a
And then he'd like give me a list, maybe.
Placebo.
Well,
yeah,
'cause-
like a placebo,
yeah.
like a placebo effect. But then, like once in a while, someone would come in like with a gut wound, like an arrow goes through the gut or whatever, and then he's like, oh, I can't do anything with this. I need
Like,
Polonius right
yeah,
now. So
summon the
right?
priest. Yeah,
Exactly. I think that's a good relationship.
yeah. And well, I just stand there and I'd be like pretending to read him like some rites or something, and then because what isn't it? With Cure Light Wounds works by touch, doesn't it? So maybe I'd be maybe I'd just be like reading them the rites or something, and then I'd rest a hand on them, and then the healing would occur. But that's just so I'm just there to And I'm like, oh, doctor, you've healed him. This is miraculous.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
So there you have it. If someone else has something to add, I think this is good. But so you're friends, right? You trust each other implicitly.
I mean, I would I wouldn't necessarily say implicitly. We're friends because we've done business together, and we've done business together so often that we've sort of developed a rapport with each other.
So you wouldn't sell each other out.
Isn't it more that you know enough dirt about each other that the trust is sort of based on that?
I mean, a little bit.
Mutually destruction.
Yeah, there's a bit of mutually assured destruction in there, but it's also a bit of like, yeah, we kind of understand each other's games. Well, I understand his games, and he understands the fact that I'm just trying to bring the teachings of Morn to people.
I like Vaynon's very dark suggestion there.
Let's see. What is he saying? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, because I have plans for the judge, so that won't be doing that quite yet. But yeah, no, there's sort of a bit. There's trust, but there's also like I think that if I was to ask him for something, he wouldn't just say like, "Oh yes, you're my friend, I'll do it." He'd be like,
No.
"Okay, but what am I going to get out of this?"
Right,
Yeah. He wouldn't try to screw me over, but he'd be, he would.
Yeah.
It's a
He wouldn't
business,
necessarily offer his help.
Yeah, it's a business.
Yeah.
at the end of the
Okay.
day.
So yeah, he looks at you intently and he's like, "This is Judge Thatcher, Polonius."
I know. Have you? I assume you've heard.
Well, yes, everyone has heard. I mean, the followers, Rom just burned down the Chapel of Morn.
Indeed.
And there's not much we can do about it, considering there's these damn militias just walking around.
This is true. But you see, I have some.
This is, by the way, the first time you've actually heard that there's militia running around.
Okay.
Just,
Okay, right. So yeah, maybe I'll say to them, it's like, oh, militias.
Yeah, like just after you left, there's been rumors, right, that the Romnians are starting an inquisition, and they're forming militias in towns, and our town of Hampton upon Avon is one of the lucky ones who have one, the militia here.
Interesting. Well, as you can expect, this is not a fantastic situation that I've been thrust into, and I have to do something. I have to.
Well, you don't have to, Polonius. I mean, you could just leave well enough alone.
Right.
You see, and this is where I don't think we will ever see eye to eye, Greybeard. To you, shiny things that clink is all, is the call to a higher power.
That hurts me. And he smiles, right? He's like, no, that's not it at all.
Yeah. And I say, but to me, the shiny things that clink are Morn's goblets.
That just doesn't make any sense to me, Polonius.
I know. But please, I need your help here.
Well, what would you have me do?
All right. Basically, I may have used, or may not, have used some of my my rapport with Morn to render the honourable judge into and sort of like cock my head in direction of him. You know, he's probably still gibbering on the table a bit.
Yes.
Basically, I want you to work your magic. Make it look like it's some sort of... Yeah, he's had a stroke, he's come down with a fever, something along these lines. Just make it look like something has happened.
You do know I don't actually have any skills, right, Polonius?
I know, but I'm sure you have something knocking around here that you can just shove in the man.
Right, let's do a parlay here.
Cool. So that's, yes, 2d6 with the
Charisma.
3 to 4, that's 7 plus 2 is 9.
A 9, all right.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, Polonius, I can do this for you, obviously. I mean, for a price, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we always. But
I knew who I was coming to, friend.
right, this is Judge Thatcher. How can I be sure that this will not come back to me?
Well, did you see the scene that we just created? The people out there already think that he's come down with something. All you need to do...
What if it doesn't work?
Well, if
They
it
all
doesn't...
know they all know you brought him here.
Yeah, but think about it. At this point, you're, seen as the great greybeard, healer of all.
Well,
and listen, okay, the guards already suspect me of something. I've managed to assuage them slightly. If anything goes wrong, just lump it on me. I'll be the fall guy here. I just need your help in this.
Okay, he agrees. But he sets his price, right? I think he needs 10 coin.
Yeah.
Is I think the basic sort of currency exchange between the two of you.
Yeah. I'll say to him, Fab's gone again. He'll probably be back in a sec.
Yeah.
I'll say to him, he's like, I don't have it on me right now, but I've got some money coming to me. So, you know me. We're good.
He takes like a couple of seconds, and he looks at you, and then he says, "Okay, okay, let me grab some stuff." And then he sort of rummages around in his little shack, and he comes back with like a sort of like a small makeup kit and some potions and like all sorts of stuff. And he says, "All right, let's get cracking, shall we?" And he's sort of like, "All right, there we go." And he just asks you, he's like, "What do you want me to do?"
I'll say, "Oh well," and I'll open his bag and say, "Oh, we'll do a little bit of this, a little bit of that." The idea is, I think that maybe we'll use the makeup and some like powders and such to maybe pale him up a little bit. Maybe, put some bags under his eyes, some like dark patches, so that he looks as though he's been quite unfortunate. And then maybe we'll just give him some sort of nothing, because I'd imagine I know at least a little bit about herb lore. So
we'll see.
Okay, but the idea is I want to basically give him something which may be just a bit of vomiting and diarrhea, maybe just making him a miserable for maybe a couple of days, but it'll pass.
Right.
And this is the person who's supposed to put us on the straight path.
Well, that was before the bastards burnt down Mitt.
So it's sort of like in how in Ocean's 11 they sort of or is it 11? I don't know. There's one of the Ocean's film where they sort of put lice in the guy's bed and they sort of they switch his shampoo and he's sort of aching all over, stuff like that. All right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, consider that done.
So basically, so when he wakes up, he's just like, "Oh, what happened? Oh God!" And
I think when this happens, because this is going to take a while. Hazel, you were looking for Polonius.
I was.
And I think you were sort of actively maybe, asking people, or you probably you heard rumors what happened, and that Polonius went to the judge, and you hear people saying this like there's something happened to the judge, and then Polonius he helped him get to Greybeard. There must be something terribly wrong.
What,
So what do
when
you
are
Now
we
I'm
taking our
interested.
break, by the way?
What? Sorry.
So I think we're about on the second hour. When are you planning the 5-minute break?
I wasn't really planning on it, but we can. We
Let's
can.
do it now.
Let's do that.
Yeah,
Let's
look-
do it
look
now.
forward to
This
seeing
A
it.
cliffhanger.
Mhm.
Exactly. And then we'll be back. So we're taking again a quick 5-minute break for the usual making coffees, making teas, quick breaks, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes for the last hour of Dungeon World. So see you in a few.
All right.
Hello, everybody. We are back for our final hour of Dungeon World. Now, last we left, I believe we were just heading off to FubFubFub, whose camera is off at the moment.
Is my camera off?
No,
There
it's
you go.
fine.
Oh no, it's on.
Oh, no. Oh, it's a little bit odd. Never mind then. Yep.
Yeah. So, Hazel, you hear these rumors about Polonius dragging Judge Thatcher to Greybeard's house. What do you do?
Well, this is most fortunate because I like Thelonious, I like Greybeard, and I have a score to settle with the judge. So I will make my way to Greybeard.
Okay. So yeah, I think he. Yeah, you know where he lives. There's his house, and there's these two guards standing in front of the door, right next to the door, blocking your way into the house. And they like, halt, halfling! What are you doing here?
Oh, I was going to. I sprained my ankle. I was going to see Sir Greybeard to have him look at it.
Sprained your ankle, eh? And yeah, they sort of look you up and down, and like, well, you can't go in. The Greybeard's busy.
Oh, I'll come back then, and I limp away.
And then the other guard, like, because the other guard's like, hold on, you really sprained your ankle? Yeah.
Oh, it's a minor thing. I'll come back later.
It hobbles away.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll try to go around the corner and look for a window through which I can gain access to.
Sure. Yeah, there's a smallish window at the back.
I imagine there's a few secret hatches and false doors in this place.
Little bookcase so you can sort of get a little book out.
No, but there's a window. Yeah, certainly. It's small, but you're small as well, so that's fine.
Okay, I'll crawl inside.
Yeah, Polonius, you hear something at the back of the shack. There's a door of a window opening, and you see the face of Hazel trying to stuff himself and his bag of treasure through the window.
I'd imagine Greybeard's like, what's going on? Yeah.
No, I don't think Greybeard is phased by this. This probably happened more often, right, Hazel?
Yeah.
Me and Greybeard, we go back a ways.
Yeah. So maybe I sort of, peer, poke my head round the corner, see Hazel, and I'm like, maybe look back at Greybeard, like, is he not going? I mean, somebody just. Oh, okay, fair enough. And I'm like, hello, Hazel.
Thelonious, I was looking for you. I see you have managed to bag yourself.
What an intro, just literally somebody squeezed in through a room, goes, Thelonious, I was looking for you.
Pretty much. Yeah. Like, well, you found me. Quickly, just come away from the window before someone sees you.
Sure.
And, help you round the corner and...
Yeah,
you see
Hazel. You see the judge's fat, sort of catatonic body on the table, and he's sort of like he's gone, right? He's been scared to death, and there's this Greybeard. He's just smearing all sorts of potions on him, and he's making him look like the judge looks really, really sick.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just sort of look, and I'll go, I'll go. Oh. Hazel, you wouldn't happen to have any of that treasure? Trying to make it so that, Greybeard doesn't hear the word treasure. It's like, you wouldn't happen to have any of that treasure on you, do you?
Treasure tray?
I shoot a glance at the bag over my shoulder.
Yes. It's like, hey, can I just 10 coins, just 10 gold, just
I'll not. You need them now?
Yeah. No. So,
Okay. I'll take the while Greybeard is busy.
Yeah, he's busy. He's sort of, he's like,
Yeah, I'll
it's Hazel, whatever. He's here all the time.
Yeah, so I'll give Thelonious his share.
Yeah.
Right. So you have a goblet of gold now.
Cool.
Filled with gold.
Yeah, I'll still tuck that in my rucksack. My backpack.
While the judge while Thelonious is taking care of that, I want to rifle through the judge's pockets. What does it have in its pockets?
I think you find, just specifically his pockets, or just what sort of like?
I want
cavity search.
No, because he's wearing rings and stuff like that, right? So
I want to take rings, earrings, stuff in his coat pockets.
Really
I want to set it all out on a counter.
Yeah. Okay. So there's this that he's got this big seal ring, right? The magistrate seal. So that's the thing. And he has probably like a gold necklace with the symbol of not Mon, but Rom, the easily irritable. So is it like the crying eye, and depicting an actual seal exactly. He also has in his pocket a sort of like a miniature Bible thing, but then like the miniature version of the book that was Polonius was reading, like the agitated musings of Rom, but in a miniature version.
Yeah.
And I think he also has like a pouch with about about 20 coin in it.
Yeah. Maybe as once I finished putting my my share back in my backpack, I'll sort of see what Hazel's doing. I'll sigh a bit and say, nothing that the man will miss, please.
So I'll shove 10 coins towards Greybeard, saying, I believe this is your fee, sir.
Thanks.
I'll pocket the seal ring. You never know when it comes in handy to be able to create an official writing from the magistrate.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. I look at the golden chain with the symbol of Rom, and to Thelonious say, do you have any interest in this?
Well, personally, no. But no, best left. We don't want to, if the man wakes up and all of his things are gone, then.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay.
Why stop there? Just strip him to his undies and then just there you go.
Yeah, he's wearing fancy clothes.
Give him a tattoo somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe
give him a tramp stamp.
Maybe people in chat have a suggestion of a prank that we can pull on the judge. Preferably something very embarrassing.
While Vanen is considering that, I will turn then to Hazel and say, so Hazel, why specifically were you looking for me?
Yeah, Baldric is going to throw a farewell party for the Temple of Morn. I believe at the very site of the erstwhile chapel.
Yeah. I knew he cared.
Oh yes.
So I've pitched in some coin to make this a grand festivity. And of course, we wouldn't want to do this without you.
Well, I must say I'm touched. I really, really am. Well, of course, I shall attend once this business is taken care of.
Oh yeah, Venin in the chat says the judge should wake up in the Schleppentickle with women's clothing on.
This is what we call the Schlappentickle special.
I would suggest a wedding dress instead of just normal women's clothing.
And yeah, just get a wedding ring and put it on his hand. So he's like, wait, what? Who did I? Wait.
Could do that, but
how are we going to get him there?
Exactly. And I sort of had, plans.
Just one of those bring out your dead.
Once he actually woke up, I had.
Oh, you had plans.
True that.
I did. Yeah, there's like no. I if that's all, Hazel, I think if you hurry off to wherever it is you need to go, I will join you at once this business is taken care of.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see you at the.
Oh, absolutely.
At the party.
A party in Morn's name? Absolutely.
Excellent.
Okay. Farewell, my friend. He scrambles out the window.
Yeah, shall I scramble out the window or take the front door?
Please don't take the front door.
No? Okay.
I still want to keep this as low-key as possible. Or as honest as possible to any outside.
As honest as possible, yeah.
To outside eyes.
Yeah, okay, so I'll squeeze through the window back outside again.
All right. And so what do you want to do, Hazel?
I think I want to check up on Baldric.
All right. Fine. So yeah, that's not a problem at all. I think Baldric is just taking care of things. This is a party that needs to be planned well, and if someone can do it, it's Baldric probably, right?
Pretty much. I mean, we're talking like, a little open air tent. I've got a mariachi band. We're hanging piñatas. There's like barbecues being set up just to... Exactly that.
Oh, okay. Cool, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why that's the theme, but that's the theme he's decided on.
So, Polonius, I think after this sort of exchange, Greybeard looks up. He says, Hazel left?
Yes, just some minor business.
Yeah, right.
Are you?
I'm
done?
I'm done. What do you think? And so you sort of when you look at Fatchez, this sort of emaciated face all of a sudden, and you'd have no idea how this happened, how Greybeard did this, but he looks really, really terrible, like gaunt eyes, really white skin, like cheeks all emaciated, like it's sort of like sweating and breathing sort of heavily. He is not doing well, but you also know that this sort of catatonic state can't last for much longer.
Okay, so at that point I'll be like, Greybeard, I have one final favor to ask of you.
Mm-hmm.
May I use this room alone for just a few minutes?
That's gonna go dark.
I'll need to have a conversation with the judge when he comes around.
What for? Just a conversation?
A bit of, and I sort of, maybe reach into my pocket and pull out my talisman, like some more persuasion.
Oh, okay. He gets up and says, "I'll be back." And he just walks out the front door, and you hear him converse with the guards.
Yeah, maybe before he walks out that way, I was like, "Tell them that I'm reading him some rights, some spiritual guidance.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you hear him say that, and then Eric is like, yeah, he goes quiet, and then John, the sort of aggressive guard, he tries to storm into the room.
Mm-hmm. Does he do so?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because Greybeard's not going to stop him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe as I'm doing that, I'm sort of, lowered my head slightly, and I'm muttering some things. And probably not muttering. Probably he can't, unless he's listening intently. Maybe he can't make out. But I'm definitely speaking aloud, as though I'm,
Right. Yeah.
So it's again the sort of Morn's equivalent of the Lord's Prayer, just sort of a general blessing.
Yeah.
And maybe I start a bit, and I go, "Oh, John, I tell you that he's not doing fantastic." And probably at this point he can see.
Yeah, so John walks up and he looks at the judge, and you see his face go white and his eyes go wide.
Mhm.
What happened?
So I don't know. He's come across all wrong. We have to keep him here for just a bit longer. We have to wait until he comes round to see if there'll be any permanent damage.
Right. Well, so let's have you roll a Defy Danger charisma check.
Cool.
And I'm going to give you a +1 because of the awesome job Greybeard did with the makeup.
Okay, cool. That's +3 in total.
Yeah. Oh, well.
7 all told because I rolled a 4.
Okay. So yeah, when you tell John this, I think the judge wakes up, and he starts sort of. He's not like frantically sitting up or anything, but you see him shifting, and you still have some time to sort of think of something. But he's gonna.
Okay. So maybe
as
I see him stir, I'll be like, "John, quickly! I need to dim the lights. He can't be he can't have too much distractions. This is a very critical time." And I'm sort of like, I'm not pushing, but I'm sort of ushering him towards the door.
Okay.
Please.
All right. Yeah. So
Okay.
John's like, okay. I need to go fetch a priest of Rome, because if he's going to die, then he needs to.
Of course,
but take rights.
Of course, but this
I'll go get someone. And then
of course, yes.
And
of course, do what you
still standing there.
Okay, so the moment he's gone, I want to close the door.
Yeah.
And you say it's not particularly well lit. Basically, the judge is sort of still groaning and moaning, and maybe he's still not quite all there.
Mm-hmm.
You said there's a fire burning.
Yeah, sort of like a small fireplace.
Yeah, I'd like. I don't suppose there's any way I can't put it out, can I? Like quickly, it's. I don't know. Tell you what, I'll get something to obscure the light a bit.
Sure. Yeah.
I like shove something just quickly, kick something in the way. If there's any candles, I want to, sort of, do the whole lick my fingers, snuff them out.
Yeah. So it's dark now, with the exception of the fire sort of casting shadows everywhere, and have this sort of warmish glow across the room.
And I want to basically, sort of be next to the judge as he comes to, and I want to just sort of I'm just sort of hands on the side of the table, looking down at him, and wait until he's sort of
So he opens his eyes, right? And or I guess he already had them open all the time, but he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And you sort of notice that the eyes are sort of rolling back, like it starts focusing again. You see the pupils dilating again, and sort of focus on you, and you hear him sort of draw a breath. He's like, Polonius, what's going on?
Like, nothing. You've had a bad accident. How do you feel?
I feel fine. What happened?
We were discussing how best you could help me in rectifying this sorry situation, and you came across all strange. And
So I remember it all. I remember anger and arguments, and I don't remember offering you any help.
and basically just realized this isn't going to be a neuralizer situation where, flash the light and it's like, all right. So at this point, I'll sort of look at him and it's like, no, you weren't. But you see, and I, bring out the talisman again, and I'll sort of, maybe, yeah. That's the idea. I kind of want him to associate that with like,
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, no worries there.
yeah. So it's like, you see, Morn has different ideas. You see, you're a follower of Rom. You know that there's always been hostility and animosity between our two houses, but never before has anything this tragic and terrible happened. I don't know why Rom harbors such hatred towards those of Morn, and because it's certainly not reflected on our part, but you see, at the moment we're in a state of escalation. You have, well, whether or not you specifically, but those of Rom have burnt down a holy house, a sacred place. And maybe if he, at any point during this, he's starting to go, well, and I want to sort of, reassert the talisman.
Yeah, no. So he starts objecting. It's like that he didn't have anything to do with it, and sort of stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Then I like every time he goes to do that, I'll like reassert the talisman. It's like, oh look, I've still got this in my hand.
Shuts it up immediately. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I say, basically, I require from you. Well, I don't. Morn requires of you. But one thing, and that is absolutely nothing. Do you understand me?
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Absolutely nothing. You are to do absolutely nothing.
Well, I can't do nothing. I'm the magistrate of this town.
Do I need to be that transparent? Come now. Whatever happens, absolutely nothing.
So let's do another defy danger charisma thing.
Cool. Do I get my +3?
Yeah, why not?
Cool. And that's an 8.
Okay, so he let's think. So okay, so he looks at you and says, "I know what you're talking about. I know perfectly well what you're talking about. But I can't just sit back and do nothing. You know this. And if people see that I don't do anything at all, then what the hell kind of magistrate am I really, right? And I need to secure my position in this town. Maybe you can help each other with this."
If I agree to do nothing that will harm your position, you will do nothing.
Agreed.
You can do whatever it is that helps you stay in your office, if that's really what you want.
So he nods and he says, "If there's anything, Polonius," and his voice goes really dark and sinister, right?
Mm-hmm.
"Anything at all that threatens my position in this town, I will find you, Polonius."
And as he does that, I'll then have the talisman in my hand again. It's like, well, I've already found you. Don't make me do something I will regret.
And he looks at you and he doesn't say it, but you have the feeling that he's thinking the exact same thing.
Fair enough. And maybe for dramatic effect, maybe John could come back in at that point. He could like knock on the door, or
I think John he doesn't knock. He rushes in and he comes in with like a man in sort of like black leather, sort of militaristic type clothing, like really sort of can't explain it, like Nilfgaardian armor in the Witcher universe,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like this sort of really formal, scary looking armor, basically. And on the chest is the symbol of Rom, the eye with the single tear on the side, and it's so John's just getting up. Felonious, magistrate, judge, you're okay.
As he starts like babbling about, I'll be like, shh, calm, hand out. It's like low voices.
Right.
Okay.
So and the man in black shoves John to the side, basically, sort of almost pushes him to the side, and oh, come on with that link. No, just go away. But he, the man walks up to Thatcher and you, and he looks at Thatcher and he's disturbed by what he sees, right? Because Thatcher looks horrible. And he looks him in the eye and he says, Aloysius, are you all right? And Thatcher, he sort of looks back and he says, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine, please. It's okay.
Okay, yeah. Maybe at this point, this is quite clearly he said he's armored, right? So he's probably a paladin. So I will say, it's like, I'll just sort of put one hand on Judge Thatcher, and I'll say, now you're not out of the woods yet. You could still take a turn for the worst. You need to rest. Make sure you do absolutely nothing. Okay?
Good.
And I don't wait for his response. I just sort of, little tap, like, good. And then I go to leave.
When you get up to leave, then this man he halts you, right? He puts his hands on your chest and says, "Just a minute. Who are you?"
I sort of look and I go, I'm Polonius of the Church of Morn. And I sort of regard his symbol on his chest, and I go, and you appear to be a follower of Rom? Huh.
Well, I don't believe you are in a position to ask questions of me, Mornian.
I was not asking, merely remarking. And, if there's nothing else, that I have done all I need to, can I take my leave?
Yeah, you see, at the corner of your eye, you see Thatcher go sort of like with a waving hand movement, and the man just he steps aside, but only a bit, right? Sort of like the smallish nod.
That's fine.
So you have to go around him, not the other way around.
Yeah, no, I'll go around him.
And so you can leave. And when you get outside, there's this. Well, it's not a.
Just before I actually walk out the door, maybe I'd just like to turn back and say, maybe you might want to be a little faster next time. And then before he can respond, door shut, I'm out.
Okay.
Polonius out.
Let me make a note of this, because. So yeah, when you go out, right? There's this sort of squad of, well, it's basically people in the same kind of armor, waiting for the person who went in. Yeah.
Is there like maybe like a small gathering of people, like just civilians?
No, maybe? they are suspiciously absent.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Well, I'll regard them and say, fear not, the judge lives. The power of the gods have deigned that it is not his time to join them.
Okay, yeah. They don't react to you whatsoever.
That's
I
fine.
think.
I think maybe I said that a little bit, like maybe a bit louder than maybe I needed to. So not only was it for them to hear, but maybe anybody who was anxiously lurking behind like a corner or behind the door with an ear to the window or what have you, they would probably have heard that.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And then I will, if they don't want to, if they don't object, I will, I'll take a step away and I'll think to myself, right, now I need to find Baldric. And then off I go.
Yeah, let's just have Baldric at Schlappentickles and maybe discussing I don't know, like music or stuff like that, right? Some more party things.
Could do, yeah. I was thinking that maybe he was already sort of on site, sort of trying to get things sort of organized.
Let's do that then, and let's just have you'll be there. So, what is it you do there? There's this burned down chapel. There's basically nothing left. What does it look like now?
Well, I was thinking if I could take some narrative freedom here, because I've got a fairly good idea. I was thinking of basically, you walk in there and you see sort of like workmen everywhere, just like, trying to raise, the tent is standing there and people are sort of raising like little banners here or there, just like something like a farewell fiesta or just something ridiculous. People inflating like sheep's bladders to see if they can hang them everywhere. Just, piñatas being raised, a mariachi band practicing ridiculous songs everywhere. Just people, just long tables with food being laid out, and some sort of smaller sort of tents in the back. Just literally as in changing areas and changing rooms and that kind of thing. And I was thinking, actually, what would be really cool and atmospheric if I know Polonius is walking in. Is Hazel also around?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think after my little encounter with the judge, I will go look for you. So, and the chapel is one of the obvious places to look.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I wanted to basically sort of have that idea of you have that party going, like sort of waiters moving back and forth, just trying to get food ready, making guacamole, getting chips ready, that kind of stuff. You sort of try and maneuver your way through there, and sort of they cleared a little bit of the place so that there's stone flooring, and at the back there'd be like a little tent at the back, right? It's sort of like lit from the back, so you can see the sort of shape, so you can recognize, the poofy pants and ridiculous hat of Baldric in there, sort of talking to like a larger sort of hulking shadow shape. Sort of hearing him go like, yeah, okay, yes, of course, immediately, yes, I'll do that. But then sort of when you round the corner of the tent, you sort of like open the flap, and there'd just be like Baldric and, little Stormageddon just sitting in the crib, and he just turns out like hi guys.
Oh, wow.
Oh wait, what? Oh, hey.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Hazel, you see this, right? It's Baldric obviously talking to Stormageddon. What do you do?
Has Stormageddon advanced to an age where he started babbling?
Yeah, I think so. He's about like 1 year old.
Oh, okay. So then I will say to Baldric, "Oh, that's an excellent idea to keep talking to little Stormageddon. That helps with his language acquisition skills."
And Baldric's like, yes, exactly, yes. I guess that was. Wait, what time is it?
Early evening, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh my, early evening. Oh my God, nothing's set up. And he runs outside, sort of, just runs out of the tent, goes to his like, okay, we're fine. Did the look? You got the snacks, right? And the presents.
Oh yeah, and there's this waiter type guy. He's like, yeah, we got it all. You paid us, right? This is what we do.
Yes. Okay. Okay, good. Yes, excellent. What are you lazing about? Come on. Move.
Yeah, so I think this is the at the time where like a lot of the guests or interested parties arrive, and I think Polonius arrives as well.
Okay.
Right, so there's like a rabble of people there.
Yeah. So maybe I'll round the corner.
rebel.
Yeah, I'll round the
But
corner.
basically, it's like when you corral sort of like all the people in the village sort of come and celebrate that you've had this major victory over whatever you had, right? And so you found a major treasure. You're spending money. You're making friends. You're drinking. You're eating. You're sharing it with the village.
Yeah, we want to make sure that this is a party that is as rowdy as possible, just to spite all the Romians.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is literally just it's kind of a weird mix between like the stereotypical racist depiction of Cinco de Mayo and like a kid's birthday party, and just
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
a
actually,
clown making like balloon animals.
I think actually, like if I maybe round the corner and see this all being set up, I'd like to maybe just back off a bit and not make myself known, and I'd like to wait until maybe the party gets underway, and then return. Like maybe I'll go for a walk, or just
Right.
wait until the party actually gets started. Before
I think there's all sorts of people here, and there's definitely like that robed zealous priest that you were listening to. He's sort of standing in a corner, looking at everything and taking things in, and there might even be some Romnian adherents there. I think like Audrey would be there as well, for instance, and some people from the Slap and Tickle that and then a lot of villagers, like the general store owner Henrik, things like that. So this is where you now roll, and you roll 2d6 plus.
Can I make a suggestion before we roll?
Yeah.
I want to make sure that Little Stormageddon is in the place of honor on a high-backed chair. Sort of introduce him to the people of the town in hopes that people will like him and take him off our hands.
Obviously, right? Yeah.
I want to join in on that, and in fact want to make sure that he has like a little sort of paper crown that looks a little bit too impressive, like a little scepter that he'll be sitting there.
Yeah, maybe taking it aside and got like some paints, and you actually started.
Yeah, so Stormageddon is now munching on the paper crown. Right? No, that's cool. Yeah. Okay, so roll. Give us a 2d6 plus. You spent 300 in total.
I think I spent one extra, and I think Hazel spent
so
one
it's
extra.
it's 2d6 plus 2.
Yeah, I chipped in.
Okay, dice, for the first time in 2 sessions. Come on.
Come
on.
with me here.
Come on!
I don't know how you do it.
The party is actually
That's
a
an impressive
disaster.
You get to mark XP.
Oh, come on.
Dear.
So on a miss, mark XP, you still choose one of the 4 options, but things get really out of hand.
Oh, shit.
Excellent.
So you either befriend a useful NPC, you hear rumors of an opportunity, you gain useful information, you are not entangled in sorcered or tricked. So I imagine the party's on the way, and Polonius sort of arrives as well, because this role sort of encompasses the entire evening, right?
Mhm.
And you 3 together have to sort of make a choice.
Well, actually, it's, I wanted to wait until the party was all very much underway. I didn't want to sort of associate it myself. I was going to like turn up just as things were starting to get ready. So I'll remove myself from this.
Okay, so yeah, then it's Baldric and Hazel. You make a choice.
So you wanted useful information about the ruins?
Yeah, I think that would be of interest. But befriending someone who will take a liking to Stormageddon and offers to take him off our hands, I'm totally fine with that as well.
I kind of want to befriend a useful NPC, particularly that priestess Cisco. It's, I like how Jack is just certainly going to side, going noting down more trouble.
No, okay, so yeah, you want to befriend a useful NPC?
Yeah, let's go with that one.
Okay. So yeah, I think Baldric, you and maybe Hazel as well. I don't know, or maybe Hazel a bit later down the line. I think Baldric, you were so intrigued by what this zealot basically was talking about. Sort of, I think the entire evening you sort of spent near, in his presence. And so what is his name? What's the naming convention for a priest of Cisco?
For one, we're not going to let Hoothor name him. That's obvious.
Listen,
Because he is not named Benjamin. That's one.
well, no, that would be the high priest. This guy could be called Jake.
Really, Jake? No, wait. I have an idea. Give me a second. I need to. Oh God. Avery.
Avery.
This
Really?
is acceptable.
Hoothor gets it. Hoothor gets it.
This is acceptable.
Really?
This is...
All right. Okay. Fine. Avery. And he's a. All right. So, what do you talk about, Baldric?
Let's see. Basically, let's see. I kind of just want to start off just casual, like just the usual small talk of, I heard what you said. Oh, that's quite interesting. Yeah, could you tell me a little bit more? And basically, kind of my goal is I want the commands of Cisco at the very least, like the little neat black book or whatever it is that they have. And I want to basically spend like an hour just talking, just finding out more about what is this threat, what can we do about it, and sort of trying to figure out what their plan is to stop it, because I kind of half believe, Baldric half believes it, half doesn't believe it.
Yeah. So this guy has this sort of like passionate fire in his eyes, right? He is, well, for lack of a better word, he's just creepy, right? He's still wearing this hooded robe, and he's this he's sort of like it's very young still. Like
exactly the person I want to associate with at what's basically a children's party.
Like early 20s, and he doesn't give you a lot of information on what the threat actually is, right? Because that would mean you'd have gained useful information, which is not one of the things you get to choose. But he does hand you like a pamphlet, right? With what it is that Reverend Margaret wants in this world, or for this world.
Wait, the Reverend Mark? Oh, yeah.
He's the high priestess, or the Reverend of Cisco, right? And
yeah, Benjamin Margaret.
Yes.
So yeah, he keeps he's sort of repeating what he was telling the audience like this afternoon, but then he's telling you, and
so I'm basically going, glass of water, bit of bread.
Yeah, he accepts kindly, and he's taken a liking to you, and he's sort of warming up, and you notice that he's not as big of a creep as it looks. But the things he's saying are slightly sort of, because what he's preaching basically goes against the grain of everything Baldric holds dear, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Like the fact that he's at this party here is not because he wants to be at a party. It's probably because he wants to, wants people to stop partying and be good. And maybe he's even taking note of the people that are at the party, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, yeah, you've befriended this man called Avery, and I'll because I see it's almost 11. I'll for next time I'll sort of figure out his traits and his things and etc. Because you can sort of take this guy along with you on your adventures it's called a hireling in Dungeon World, but we'll figure that out for next time.
Hireling of the evil faction.
Right. So, but I think halfway through, Hazel also joins this conversation. And what do you think of this? When I'm telling this to Baldric, like, this is the guy. How do you react to this man?
Oh my God! More religious nonsense.
So
No, I think by this time. No, I'm by this time I am. I think I have little Stormageddon on my arm, and I'm parading him around the party, trying to foist him off onto someone else.
Okay.
But so far I have had no takers.
Avery has taken an interest. Definitely.
Sweet Jesus.
That's one thing you noticed. Now, as for the other part of the carousing, you gained XP, Baldric, which means you failed. Something goes terribly wrong. Things get really out of hand. I think.
Wait, we wanted this party to be as rowdy as possible.
It's really rowdy, but that's not the problem.
Unfortunately, it's so rowdy that the Temple of Rom burns down. Oh, woe is me!
Oh no!
The
Terrible.
the thing is, oh god, I can't. Wow, Polonius, you saw these men in black armor.
Paladin.
Paladins are just crazy people. You don't know.
Militia.
The militia, basically. The militia arrives at the party. And without any warning, and without sort of any introduction or whatever, they start drawing their swords and smashing everything they can see. The tables,
including the piñata?
all the piñatas. Even like Stormageddon's high chair, everything is being smashed to smithereens. The people in the village start screaming and sort of like trying to get away from them. And they're not really necessarily attacking people, but they're just breaking up the party, right? And they're not saying anything. They're really scary. They're like sort of like Cylons moving in, right? They're just doing this because they have to. This is just what they do. And they're given sort of air of scariness and power. And people are just obviously afraid of them. Which is where we'll leave it for next time, I guess.
Why not?
Fair enough.
Which
Nice.
Which leaves us with the end of session rewards. And Byronic, is there a bond? I'm well aware that the scenes with Polonius have taken up quite some time, so this might not be relevant at all. But is there one of your bonds that you feel is resolved?
Not really resolved. I'm thinking, if it's possible, I just want to give up the Polonius is the butt of my jokes, because it just doesn't seem to be relevant.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm deleting that one.
All right. Hazel.
Yeah, I had my new bond of taking the judge down a notch. Not sure I actually participated in that.
Not yet.
Maybe wait until I make use of the seal.
Exactly. I think that's a good. But just give it a little mark that you were sort of working on it, so we can remember that for next time. Then that'd be good. Polonius.
No, none of my bonds have been even remotely touched upon today.
Alignments, Baldric.
Let's see. This is difficult. Neutral. Avoid conflict or diffuse a tense situation. I have avoided conflict, but that's more by doing nothing. So I'm not quite sure that.
Well,
really applies.
You have aligned yourself with a zealotous priest who's rambling on about all sorts of stuff, and you're not really, engaging in arguments with this man, even though it's in your nature to be everything, sort of the opposite of what's being preached.
It's my nature to be friendly, very friendly.
No. So
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know,
my.
guys. What do you think?
I mean, there's part of me which says, yeah, it makes sense, but then there's also part of me that says it could not make sense, and Baldric could be happy with like the 5 million XP he got by failing everything today.
Fair enough.
Well, we'll leave it there. Hazel.
Neutral, avoid detection or infiltrate a location.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Take XP for that one. It's not every day you see a halfling with a bag of loot crawl through a window, right?
That's very true.
Polonius.
Now, it's gonna take a little bit of twisting of words here, but mine is lawful. Endanger
Yeah,
yourself
right.
following the precepts of your church or god. Everything I have done today, while not lawful, has been following.
Well,
what
it's
I
lawful.
believe.
It's lawful in because that's what lawful means, right? It's lawful within the set of predetermined rules.
Yeah, but like it's not been lawful in terms of the law of, say, Hampton, but
No.
probably
that doesn't exist.
But that
That's
doesn't
not
matter.
relevant.
That's not relevant. It should be lawful within the sets in the rules set by Morn.
Oh, it's Morn. Okay.
I guess so. Yeah, I think if we look at the character that Polonius is right now, then he does everything
for Morn.
for Morn and in
Mhm.
service of Morn. So
Yeah.
it would make sense that lawful in this case would be following the teachings of Morn.
hmm
So in this case, the teaching would be that you are free to sort of exact this type of revenge on someone.
Well, and that's the thing is
This is the other. Yeah.
Morn revoked the spell, right?
He did, but he
was
granted it. He
He-
did.
he-
He granted
this
it, but was
is-
like, yes, but I don't want to set a precedent, kind of thing.
I think this is where we give you 1 XP now and say that when this sort of thing sort of happens again, you wouldn't get XP for
This
it.
is a one-time thing, yeah.
So
had to-
you now Morn grants you XP, and then next time he doesn't anymore.
Pretty much, yeah. That's cool.
Okay, so
Everybody gets one.
Yeah, except for Waldrick, who got loads.
Look, it's my skills at not throwing anything useful.
Let's answer these 3 questions as a group. Did we learn something new and important about the world?
I think we did with the apocalyptic teachings of the Church of Cisco.
And that there's something coming.
That's true.
I could.
And the fact that there's
mention several
militia,
things.
the militia running around, and
There's been babies dying. There's militias being formed. There's zealotous priests preaching.
There's a village called Fishling, which apparently worships Cthulhu.
Yeah, so that's 1 XP for everyone.
speaking of which, Tracy.
Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy?
Notable
Maybe the
enemy,
judge?
but
Well,
how
that
did
is
it
the
overcome?
thing, right?
I was able to threaten my way into a into a.
Yeah, but
deep
has he been overcome?
I don't think
I
he's been
thought-
overcome.
I think he's been overcome in the sense that he was, if I hadn't done what I'd done, he would have just said, "No, get out of here."
Yeah, that's true.
But then
At the same time, it's like you're sort of now because you kept the rolls you did were at in the 7 to 9 range, where something's not sort of.
Yeah.
So I think you're in some sort of shaky alliance right now, where sort of you
standoff.
a sort of standoff, right?
Yeah,
And
so
I
we have
don't
to
think
see how it unfolds.
I don't think this judge has been overcome, because if he wants to, he can crush you,
Hmm.
right? Because there's nothing you can do in a sense that would stop him from calling in the militia or calling in the city guard and just arrest or kill you. I mean,
Yeah.
he doesn't have to do it himself. That's the beauty of being in power,
Yeah.
right? So and he's still in power, so in that sense he also hasn't been overcome.
hmm
So I don't think so.
Okay.
And did we loot memorable treasure? No.
No.
we didn't.
No. Well, I
So,
mean,
yeah.
Hazel got the signet ring.
There's that.
Is that a significant treasure?
I don't think it's a significant treasure. It could be a significant item.
Fair enough.
I'll make it significant next time.
Yeah, I think that's what we have to be taken away from today. All of these things we need to make sure happen next time.
Well,
Oh.
make notes of it, and then
Yeah,
Tracy in chat. Or Cass could just kill him. Just saying.
this is true. This is true.
yeah. So yeah, let's leave it on that cliffhanger. It's just a bunch of people smashing a party at you. That was so wonderful.
I can just see now there's a piazza hanging. Somebody walks in, smash the piano. Everyone goes, yay! Hey, why are they smashing the rest as well? Wait, what?
Exactly. So
Literally party crashing.
let me hand it off back to Baronic Gamer.
Yeah, sure thing. So that is indeed the end. Good 3-hour session of Dungeon World. We're gonna see what will be coming up in the next couple of weeks, since we'll have quite tricky schedules going. So maybe we're switching it up somewhere with a little bit else, something else that Jex can run, depending on whether everybody can make it or not. For now, though, I'd like to thank everyone. So I'd like to thank JeXus for running this. So,
Welcome.
thank FubFubFub for being here, playing
Thank you.
playing it with us, and thanking Hoothor, aka William, as well for that. That was a lot of good role playing in there.
I will admit that when I created the character of Thelonious Polonius, that was the last thing I thought he'd be doing. But yet, here we are.
That is some very cool development. So thank you all as well for following up, for viewing here. We'll be cutting it. I think we'll be back probably again next Sunday, depending on schedules. Keep an eye on the Twitter. And otherwise, I will be back on Wednesday as well with more Dark Souls. So thanks everyone, and have a good night.